Hey everyone, it's Dr. Jillian from Awakening Chiropractic, and today I'm going to take you on a tour of my garden. We just finished planting it for the year. So here we go. We planted herbs again. There's tons of herbs in one of the bays. We have arugula and spinach. I planted a ton of vegetables this year, mostly to help Dr. Erica. I'm going to pass along a lot of veggies to her so she can juice with them. Because we all know when you juice, it takes up a ton of produce and it can get really expensive. So we have arugula, spinach. I did plant watermelons because the kids and I love watermelons. Some of our cucumbers, peppers, zucchinis. You can see that a lot of it's still in the ground. We got tomatoes, celery I think we planted, asparagus. We got all kinds of stuff. And isn't it totally cool how you plant a seed in the ground and literally this entire garden is going to be full of food in, 4 to 8 weeks. And you can have, and some of you may have experienced this, where you have the same seed and you plant it in 2 different types of soil and one of them thrives and one of them doesn't. And why is that? And the answer to that is it's the health of the soil. And Dr. Erica did an awesome video a little while back on the soil versus the seed in regards to our own health. And this is true for our gardens and for our own bodies. How healthy is our constitution? How healthy are we from the inside out? That makes all the difference. And this is the same reason why in your office, out of 10 people that you work with, 5 of them get the cold flu, 5 of them don't. Why don't those 5 people get it? Because their constitution is healthier. They're able to fight off that bacteria or virus. It's not that they didn't catch it. They did catch it. They just didn't express any symptoms because it didn't create sickness in their body. Their immune systems fought it off. And I've been telling patients this for the past month in regards to Lyme disease and ticks, because everybody's coming in afraid of ticks, and we are finding a ton of ticks this year. They're not going away. They're getting worse by the year, I swear. And this hits home with me too. I have Lyme disease, so I get it. And I let my kids roam out here in these woods, and we are pulling ticks off of them. And we are pulling ticks off of the dog. I've pulled a tick off of me already. So we can't fear the tick. You can't fear the Lyme disease. What we really need to focus on is keeping our bodies healthy from the inside out. If we do that, we are essentially creating a barrier for that Lyme disease. So even if you get bit, your body should be strong enough to fight that off. And this is the same reason why the majority of us in New Hampshire aren't walking around with Lyme disease symptoms. There are a lot of us that are, don't get me wrong. But why aren't there more? If there's so many ticks. And that's my answer, is that we can't be afraid. We really need to create health and life from the inside out. And it is the same exact thing in my garden. I mean, we use our compost bin, which is over here. It's not really a bin, it's kind of a pile of crap. But anyway, we compost everything. And over the year, last year's compost is going into the soil for the garden this year. We don't use any herbicides or pesticides or anything like that. We tend to the garden. We're patient with the garden. We weed the garden because we know it's going to create life and health from these boxes. And what happens is, in the body, are we creating life? Are we feeding our bodies things that are going to create life? Or are we toxifying it? If I put herbicides and pesticides on this garden, stuff still might grow, but a lot of it's going to die. And what is that food going to do inside of my body when I eat it if it's got toxins in it? And it's the same thing in your body. If we're taking antibiotics, painkillers, all the narcotics, muscle relaxers, steroids, if we're taking that stuff and it's not necessary, it's not creating life in our body. It's killing off cells. And, there's such a better way to create life than using that. And that's where we go to the innate intelligence. Everyone has the power to heal themselves. The power that made the body heals the body. It doesn't happen any other way. That's why I'm a chiropractor. And that I know for a fact that every single person is better off getting adjusted than not getting adjusted. It is going to make your life different. It's going to give you life instead of taking it away. or putting out fires. And it's being patient. Just like you have to be patient with your garden. It's not really that fun to weed. You know, some people like it because it's quiet and meditative. But it's hard to be patient like that and find the time. And taking care of our garden like this is constant. I mean, all season we'll be taking care of it. It's not like we just plant it and forget it and then come back in 8 weeks and, you know, harvest everything. And it's the same thing if you want to create health. It's a constant thing. You have to constantly be working on it and being patient with yourself and loving yourself. And I've definitely learned this in the last, you know, I've been learning it, gosh, for a long time now, but I've done a lot of things right and I do a lot of things good for my body. But in the last couple of weeks, I really haven't been taking care of myself in certain ways. And it showed. I mean, I was down in the dumps and I haven't felt like that in a really long time. Not all physical. Some of it was physical, but mental. I was just done. And part of it was a few people in my life that I love dearly are going through challenging times, and I want to be there for them and support them and give myself to them. It's one of my purposes, but at the same time I wasn't giving anything to myself. I wasn't feeding myself. So then there's nothing at the end left over to give to anybody, let alone myself. And I completely exhausted myself to the point where I just didn't even want to talk to anybody. I just wanted to just be alone, and it's just not healthy. But to recognize that behavior as quickly as I did, and I was able to make a few changes to turn it around so that I can still care for myself and then make me able to care for everyone else like I want to, is so important. And at the same time, creating strength and life within my body. Honestly, I just went for a run, and it's a miracle that I did because I felt so depleted in the last couple weeks. I haven't even really been doing that. And it's one of the things that I really love to do every day. So, you know, it's constant. You don't just learn these things, put them in place, and then you're done. It's a roller coaster ride, and you're always learning. And, you know, I'm here to share this with you. And like I always say, if me sharing this personal stuff and being vulnerable is going to help even just one of you, and if you're going to take even just one thing away from this video, then me being out there in the open is all worth it. So anyway, I hope that you guys are not going to fear anymore, and you're going to just do what you need to do to take care of yourself and make yourself the strongest you can and create life from the inside out. Remember, it doesn't happen any other way.